Alright, as always, you can go to YouTube channel My Medical Nightmare and see 40 plus hours video on everything that happened to. Alright, tricks of the trade. And here I'm going to highlight a very disturbing and growing trend. And this is characterized by general practitioners or standard medical doctors who suddenly switch to pediatrics only. And another thing to watch out for are medical practices who specialize in hosting general practitioners who suddenly expand into the pediatrics field. I didn't realize this was such an issue until I went on a marathon reading session of patient and customer reviews of local doctors and medical establishments recently. Okay, why should you be concerned? If you're talking about doctors that adults are having problems with already, I would look at this as a possible sign that these doctors potentially have a profit motive, or that they've possibly gotten lazy, or looking for easy money, or are trying to exploit and take advantage of the weak and defenseless. This scam is easy to understand because when a doctor sees a child as a patient, they are backed up with guarantees. In the case of Christ Health Center, such as in my case, they're often referred patients who are dumped emergency room visitors who have no insurance income or ability to pay. Obviously, a child is not able to work in a job and make money to pay for their medical visit. The child is not able to take money and acquire medical insurance. So the responsibility falls to the parents and guardians who will either pay for that examination and subsequent treatment, or oftentimes buy family medical insurance packages which cover the child. Children, they don't have the experience and development of adults, are not able to articulate themselves or carry on conversations on a very high level. And so ultimately, children as patients, they can't provide much feedback or input into the situation. So the responsibility and the burden of the diagnosis and treatment, it falls more to the medical practitioner's purview. Also, children can't process and understand what they're being told. They can't develop a discernment as to the accuracy of the doctor's analysis in their own mind. Children are often accompanied by their parents and guardians during the doctor's visit. I think the tendency tends to favor the parents having an intrinsic trust in the judgment of the physicians. And so basically, whatever the doctor tells the child and the family as to the health situation of the patient, they'll oftentimes just go along with whatever they tell them. No arguments. So you could look at this as perhaps an easier and more secure situation than if the doctor in question treats adults, teenagers, and children. I'm speaking to Robert Record, CEO and State of Alabama licensed medical doctor for Christ Health Center. Is that correct?
Sir, yeah, this is Robert Record. How can I help you? It sounds like you're upset. I would love to be of great help to you. I know we saw you 4 years ago. What can I do for you? Been 4 years.
Oh yeah, it's been 4 years. I've been trying to get that issue resolved for 4 years, actually. I saw Dr. Terry Daniel Smith, MD, and he was at the Chalkville, Old Springville Road, Christ Health Center. My issue with my Christ Health visit 2019, I believe I received no measurable level of service in my visit. And I had 2 visits, okay? The one with the doctor, Terry Daniel Smith, and that visit was $109. I had a visit with nurse, NP, Anna Musgraves, $107. Why was I charged $107 for a visit with the NP and $109 for the visit with the MD? Because there's quite a gulf of experience and.
So you don't understand why you would charge the same bill for an NP as an MD, okay?
Yeah. So why?
Because the medical codes are the same, and and that's how, and the medical price is the same on either one.
I think that I should have been charged less for the visit with the EMP than the MD.
Honor your thought on that, sir.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I can go down to the Woodlawn Clinic today and take video. The people that go to your clinic there in Woodlawn, they don't have $100 to pay to see an MP. You obviously don't know the market prices, the going rate to see an MP is what I think.
Well, you're welcome to accuse me and use language like that. That's your right. Now,
I can back it up with facts because I've seen other MPs. I can share what the market rate is in this area, Birmingham, Alabama, sir.
You're welcome to say that, sir. You're welcome to say that. Our fees are set with the federal government, approved by our board, and are reviewed every year by our board. And we charge on a sliding scale based on people bringing in documentation of their income, and then we reduce those fees based on that. And so I know what we collect on average on an uninsured patient, and it's all based on their salaries. They're done with the federal sliding scale, which is approved annually by the federal government. So.
Yeah, again, I would like a better answer as to why I was charged $100 to see a nurse and a medical doctor, because there's a gulf of discipline there. Okay, you know, a nurse is not a doctor, and you shouldn't be charged.
She's not a nurse; she's a nurse practitioner. So she's a certified registered nurse practitioner. And the charges are the same in both, which is pretty much standard practice across the industry.
We got outstanding issues, unresolved and unaddressed from that Terry Daniel Smith MD visit. Okay, from that visit, he charged me for a hemoglobin blood test and an electrocardiogram that I did not receive. And when you charge patients for services that are not rendered or provided, that's a big no-no. And that is a problem. That was refunded to me because I went into the Old Springville Road location and complained about it. So that was refunded to me. But still, it's unacceptable that you got doctors that's unprofessional.
Okay, thank you for letting me know.
My rundown of issues with Christ Health Center, Birmingham, Alabama. I believe I received no measurable level of service in my visit. I was charged the same amount of money, $110, to see the doctor and MD as the nurse, a nurse practitioner. Other medical practices around Birmingham, I paid roughly half of that price. Christ Health is partners with Ascension, St. Vincent's Hospital, and it looks like either Christ Health decided to ignore my injury or were ordered to ignore my injury. And I believe this is to protect the reputations and million-dollar salaries of the, quote, professionals, unquote, involved. I also believe it may have been patient dumped, and that's a violation of EMTALA, E-M-T-A-L-A, in the course of my seeking treatment. I was a self-pay patient, I had no insurance, and I could provide no stated source of income. Dr. Terry Daniel Smith, MD, outright refused to grant me a referral for an MRI. Just a few days later, I got that MRI. I had to pay cash out of pocket, and broken bone surrounded by infection shows up in that scan. Broken bone also shows up in the CT scan. He claims in his notes in my medical chart to have reviewed in detail. I was billed $50 for a hemoglobin blood test and electrocardiogram I never received. And yeah, I think taking money from people who don't have anything, such as myself, is obscene. Nurse Musgraves wrote in her report that she suspected psych etiology to explain my symptomology, and this is absolutely wrong. Broken skull bone is visible in the MRI, CT, and X-ray that I've had done. Nurse practitioner Anna Musgraves agreed to give a referral when I secured my MRI. So I had to go out and find another medical practice with the equipment who could do the scan. I was given 3 avenues of financial assistance to pursue, and all 3 of these led to dead ends. I did not qualify. This is for Ascension, Access to Care, Cooper Green Hospital, and UAB Hospital in Birmingham, Alabama. after I paid $500 cash out of pocket for an MRI at American Health Imaging in downtown Birmingham on the south side. The diagnostic center staff told me that they needed a medical referral. I informed them to call Christ Health Center in Woodlawn. They were put on hold 15 minutes, and then someone, we don't know who, at Christ Health Center hung up the telephone. They backed out on giving that referral. I believe somebody didn't want me to get this MRI scan because it would show the truth of an injury that I was told I did not have. A medical doctor I had no interaction with also strangely edited and signed off on my records and chart days following that visit. This was shortly after I lodged my first official complaint for lack of service from Christ Health. This doctor was Beverly Vanderpool. I put all my records from this visit in several hours worth of video on YouTube channel My Medical Nightmare. You can go there and see my side of this story. Deborah Pickens also tells me that a letter with a statement was going to be put in the mail to me after that August 2023 meeting. And what I can say is I have not yet received this promised letter. 1 year later, they know my address too because they sent me those bills for those medical services that weren't performed on me. So people out there looking at healthcare options in the Birmingham, Alabama area, please take my experience to heart, and I would advise that you look elsewhere when seeking medical treatment from a doctor or a nurse.